Hey everyone, and welcome back to the EdgeVerse TechCast. This is your go-to place for everything related to NXP software, tools, and enablement, specifically tailored for NXP processors and microcontrollers. I'm your host, Kyle Dando, and today we're diving into the world of wolfSSL. They're a high-performance TLS, DTLS library that's securing the way we connect and communicate in the digital world.
And I'm Bridget Stone, your other co-host. Today we're exploring how wolfSSL delivers exceptional security performance from embedded devices to enterprise servers. We're joined by experts David Garske and Zach Beckman from wolfSSL, who will walk us through the key features and advantages of this powerful security solution. Welcome to the TechCast.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We're excited to dive into what makes wolfSSL unique, especially our lightweight design, high quality engineering that keeps your project secure across a broad range of platforms.
Yeah, so David and Zachary, we've marked this TechCast as one of our application code hub episodes. And I'm really excited to share with the listeners how we've worked together to now have wolfSSL as part of the application code hub. This is the best way for engineers to quickly evaluate what we're going to discuss today. But hold on, I know. We're going to cover that a little further on in our discussion. And I'm sorry, Bridget, for jumping ahead, but I just could not help myself. Why don't you kick us off as our discussion was supposed to?
Well, we've been working long enough together, Kyle, that I know you're always going off script, and it's totally cool. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in, and we're going to do the softball toss first. So Zachary and David, can you tell us who is wolfSSL and what makes you guys stand out in the world of security software?
Yeah, we are the leader in open source embedded security software. We deliver lightweight, high performance cryptographic libraries and solutions that are purpose built for resource constrained environments. So, from small embedded IoT devices all the way up to high end aerospace applications, our solutions power secure systems around the world. We back our technology with the best support in the industry, including free pre-sales support directly from engineers like me, so our developers can build with confidence, speed, and rock solid security.
Super impressive. With the growing concerns, though, around data security, how has wolfSSL evolved to meet the challenges of modern threats?
It's a great question. wolfSL, we stay actively engaged with government industry groups, and including industry leading companies, and we align with the latest security standards and recommendations, ensuring that our libraries support all the latest algorithms and protocols. We take a very proactive approach to embedded security design, integrating features like a hardware root of trust, a secure key store, cryptographic engines, and secure boot/updates. We place strong emphasis on protecting data at rest, in transit, and with a firmware update process. We ensure high security standards by default, offering long-term support, rapid vulnerability response, and rigorous third-party audits and certifications. For example, CNSA 2.0 defines a timeline for supporting post-quantum algorithms. We fully support post-quantum in all our libraries, including hybrid schemes, leveraging currently trusted algorithms with quantum-resistant ones, including dual algorithm certificates. Another example is in the EU, there is the Cyber Resilience Act, known as the CRA, which defines new security requirements for connected products starting in 2027. This requires things like a software bill of materials, third-party auditing, and since we're fully open source and don't rely on any external software, it makes us a natural fit.
Okay, you guys are at the forefront of keeping everybody's software up to date and in compliance. So I'll ask this to Zach. How are developers quickly integrating wolfSSL into their projects? We've worked together on both FreeRTOS and other projects, but our last episode covered Zephyr. So it may be real interesting if you could tell us how can people get started with a Zephyr project in wolfSSL?
Hey, Kyle. So the great thing is wolfSSL can be quickly integrated into new and existing projects in Zephyr. And this is because we dedicate some time to make a Zephyr module. So this means for any developer working on an existing or new project, it's a three-step process where all they have to do is add wolfSSL to the project's WestYML file, perform an update using the West tool, and then update their project to include wolfSSL and any configurations they want for wolfSSL to gain access to the API for their project.
Okay, well, 3 steps sounds simple enough, but here it is, Zach. This is what you and I have been working on for, I don't know, I think it's been 6 months. You've been very patient and you've done a lot of great work. Why don't you tell the listeners how wolfSSL's Zephyr projects are now available in NXP's application code hub?
Yeah, Kyle, I think it's been about 6 months. We recently just put up the TLS server example on the NXP application code hub, and this is a perfect intro to using the setup process I described. This example is great for establishing secure communications between network systems early on, especially embedded systems, and this helps reduce project risk in multiple ways. One is proof of concept. Second is hardware prototyping, making sure the networking devices on your custom board using NXP is working properly. So it's a great place to have a fork or a starting point for a new project for a developer. And then we also have some other fun demos in the NXP App Code Hub using wolfSSH and wolfMQTT. And then we have an exciting new one coming soon, and that's wolfTPM.
And the nice thing about this is, as you and David go with customers and find new applications, it's going to be really quick for you guys to add those up on the application code hub. This is a perfect place for our listeners to go and get started. We'll put the link in the episode description. Now that we have you in the application code hub, once they've taken advantage of this quick start, they still need to develop within Zephyr. Zach, could you explain a little bit from your experience, what's been the biggest learning curve for developers when they start developing with Zephyr?
Yeah, Kyle, from what I've seen, newer developers, especially if they're more familiar with bare metal and other RTOS environments like free RTOS, the biggest learning curve is probably Zephyr's device tree system, which is a departure from manual configuration, which is typical in most bare metal programming. So developers will need to understand how to define their hardware peripherals and the properties of the device tree format to integrate these in Zephyr's driver model to use properly. And this can take a few days to grasp, but maybe a few weeks to really master.
Thanks, Zach. So I'm going to switch gears just a little bit and get us into the nitty gritty. What makes wolfSSL stand out in terms of performance, and how does it deliver faster results compared to others?
It's a great question. So, Bridget, we offer several options for the underlying math of our algorithms, including pure C versions of those, which are extremely portable, and then ones that are assembly optimized. It's handwritten assembly that is specific to an architecture, for example. And each of those is available in either a small or large variant. And there's an ability to control where the memory is used. And that's unique. I don't know of any other libraries that do that. Our assembly optimized versions of the code typically see a 2 to 10x speed up, which far exceeds performance of any competitor products you might find. Sometimes that even outperforms the onboard cryptographic hardware that may exist. Another unique feature to our solution is support for non-blocking cryptography. So that enables operations, asymmetric operations, for example, like ECDSA or ECDHE, to be split up into smaller pieces of work, which is really beneficial if you're in a bare metal environment. It's another very unique feature of ours.
Okay, well, can you go into a little bit more detail behind wolfSSL's lightweight and portable design, and why is this critical for embedded developers?
Well, most embedded developers are on space-constrained environments where they have a small amount of flash or RAM. What we did is we set up all of the algorithms and features in our library to be controlled through build macros, so build time macros. And this allows everything to be customized for their specific product. For example, you can build WolfCrypt with only ECC signing and SHA-2, or ECC verification if you want, or you could build just wolfSSL with TLS 1.3 client only, with or without mutual auth. And all those features reduce code size and your exposure risk that you may have, right? So embedded developers really appreciate that.
Okay, then how do the developers customize their wolfSSL for all these different parameters? And how do they get the trade-offs that you just explained?
Well, that's a much bigger topic. Typically, those build options are managed in a single build file called user settings.h. In an embedded environment, that's typically how we do it. And there's some great examples for that under the examples config directory in our wolfSSL product. All the products that we have all support these types of build options, and they're all well documented. But we really designed our solutions for portability, which is the primary reason we chose C as a language. There are other reasons, but that is one of the primary reasons. We find many customers standardizing on our libraries across different platforms. This reduces the complexity of their projects and the effort required to maintain these. We also guarantee forward API compatibility between releases, which is really important for project stability.
Thanks, David. All right, I have one I'm going to toss over to Zach. In terms of industries, what industries rely most on wolfSSL, and who within an organization should be evaluating its capabilities?
Hey, Bridget. So, as David alluded to earlier, wolfSSL is used in many sectors needing stringent security, like government, military, medical, and financial, like banking. So, one of the big things about wolfSSL is right now it's currently FIPS 140-3 certified, and we also have DO 178 certification. So this helps reduce project risk for any projects that need these certifications. wolfSSL also provides excellent support and testing. We offer a big safety net for long-term projects and services. For example, our FIPS 140-3 certificate holds a 5-year validation period, where most others are only 2. These are benefits that really any project manager or risk analyst working on a project should take into consideration.
It's really interesting to see how many high-stakes industries depend on wolfSSL. How does wolfSSL handle evolving compliance requirements like FIPS 140-3 or new security regulations?
Yeah, so wolfSSL, we leverage our industry connections and partnerships, like with NIST, NIST associated labs, and other certification bodies like the European Common Criteria. And this is so we can maintain a proactive stance on emerging trends and developments. This enables us to lead the way in delivering cutting-edge solutions, ensuring compliance with new certifications and standards for the benefits of our customers. Leadership and innovation in the market are core principles that drive wolfSSL's commitment to excellence.
Very cool. Thank you. So I want to have a little fun before we wrap up and talk about who really needs to be paying attention to wolfSSL and who might be in for a bit of a wake-up call if they don't. We're diving into the world of security, compliance, and avoiding the uh-oh moment with your boss. So who's on the VIP list for evaluating wolfSSL and who might be in the doghouse if they skip this step? So I'm going to do a couple rapid fires. First, who needs to evaluate wolfSSL?
Security engineers, compliance officers, project managers in security sensitive industries, and embedded system developers should evaluate wolfSSL to ensure secure communication and compliance.
And who's going to fail to impress their boss?
Project managers, developers who overlook the importance of using proven encryption libraries like wolfSSL, risk project failure, vulnerabilities, and setbacks.
And last but not least, who might get in trouble?
Anyone overlooking the importance of proven top-tiered encryption libraries like wolfSSL risks the security and success of their project and might end up with an unhappy manager when vulnerabilities or delays hit.
That was great, Bridget. What a great way to get David to give us some quick answers. Let's quickly recap what we covered today. First, we explored wolfSSL's key features. You guys talked to us about the high performance encryption to where it is very lightweight and it has a portable design. And that makes it the go-to choice for securing everything from embedded devices to enterprise servers. We also took a deep dive into how wolfSSL helps developers create secure, scalable solutions across multiple platforms. Plus, we touched on the industries that rely on wolfSSL to keep their communications safe and secure.
Thanks so very much, David and Zach, for sharing insights with us today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We're thrilled to have been here.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Bridget, for having us.
So for our listeners out there, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if there's a topic you'd like us to dive into, drop us a comment.
And until next time, keep innovating, stay secure, and we'll catch you on the next EdgeVerse TechCast.